Beauty and the Beast and Other Stories. Cinderella. Cinderella, scrub the floor. Cinderella, make the beds. Cinderella, why is my dinner not ready yet? These sort of things was all that poor Cinderella heard from her stepsisters from morning to night. Cinderella was very beautiful and good-natured, but her stepsisters, who were very ugly, were uncontrollably jealous of her, so they made her life miserable. One day a messenger called at the house with an invitation to a grand ball which the prince was holding at the palace. At once the stepsisters were in a dither about what to wear and how should look. All the most handsome young men in the kingdom will be there, they cried. We must be sure to look our best. Oh, please, can I come to the ball? Begged Cinderella. The ugly sisters howled with laughter. You, go to the ball. Don't be so ridiculous. Just look at how tattered your clothes are. You can't go looking like that, and besides, we will need you to help us get ready. Anyone but Cinderella would have refused to help, but she was so kind-hearted that she could not. On the night of the ball, the ugly sisters had Cinderella running around in circles after them. Comb my hair, press my gown, fetch me a mirror, and do hurry up, you lazy creature. Cinderella felt dizzy by the time they were finished, and she didn't even get so much as a thank you. Her stepsisters swept out to their carriage and left poor Cinderella crying quietly by the fireside. Suddenly there was a flash of light, and the little old lady appeared. I am a fairy godmother, she said. Dry your tears, you shall go to the ball. Just do as I say. First she sent Cinderella to the garden to find a pumpkin. She touched the pumpkin with her magic wand, and in an instant the pumpkin became the most splendid coach you could ever saw. Then Cinderella was told to bring the mousetrap from the kitchen. Inside it were 6 white mice. The fairy godmother gave each of them a tap with her wand and turned them into snow-white horses. Next, Cinderella brought 6 little lizards, which she found in a watering can. These were turned into 6 footmen with silver-buttoned coats. Finally, a large black rat was transformed into a jolly coachman. Well, dear, now you can go to the ball after all, chuckled the fairy godmother. Aren't you pleased? Oh, yes, exclaimed Cinderella, but how can I go in these old rags? At once the godmother waved her wand, and the dirty old clothes were changed into a beautiful ball gown, and around Cinderella's neck was a string of pearls. Then, to complete the picture, she found a pair of dainty glass slippers on her feet. Now, off you go and enjoy yourself, said the fairy godmother. But remember, you must not stay a second after midnight, or all your fine clothes will turn back into rags, and the coach and horses, coachman, and footmen will return to what they were before. Cinderella arrived at the palace just as the ball was about to begin. As she entered the ballroom, a murmur ran around the crowd. Who is that beautiful girl? The prince could not take his eyes off her. He insisted that she dance with him for the entire evening. Cinderella had never been so happy before in her entire life. She was so happy that she didn't notice the time flying. Suddenly the clock began to strike 12. Good heavens, she cried, remembering her fairy godmother's warning. I must go. She ran out of her room. At the 12th stroke, her fine clothes turned back into rags, and the coach became a pumpkin. The prince ran after Cinderella, but she had vanished into the night. All that remained was one of her glass slippers. It had fallen from her foot as she ran down the palace steps. I will find the girl who wore this slipper, vowed the prince, and I will make her my bride. The next morning, a proclamation was read out in the square to the sound of a trumpet. Every girl in the kingdom was to try on the glass slipper, and whoever slipper fit would marry the prince. From north and south, east and west, people came flocking to the city. Young and old, short and tall, thin and fat. One by one they tried on the glass slipper, but the slipper fit none of them. Eventually, the slipper was brought to Cinderella's house. The ugly sisters were so excited. The sisters snatched the glass slipper from the messenger before he could say a word. "Look, it fits me," cried the elder sister. "Nonsense," said the young sister. "Your heel is sticking out. Let me try it on." "There, it fits me like a glove." "Well, it certainly doesn't fit like a slipper," sneered the elder one. "Your toes are bent double." "Does anyone else live here?" asked the messenger. "Everyone must try on the slipper." "Only Cinderella," replied the sisters. "But she is only a servant girl. The slipper can't possibly fit her." But the messenger insisted that even Cinderella must try on the slipper, and so she was brought from the kitchen where she had been cooking dinner. Slowly she took the slipper and put it on. The ugly sisters gasped in amazement. "It fits," they wailed. Then Fairy Godmother appeared and tapped her with the magic wand. Once more she was dressed in fine clothes, even more beautiful than her ball gown. "Your carriage is waiting to take you to the palace," said the Fairy Godmother. The prince was overjoyed to see Cinderella again. Soon the couple were married. Everyone went to the wedding, even the ugly sisters whom Cinderella had completely forgiven for their previous unkindness.